Give me a towel.
Mr. New Shortbread Fudgy Nut Bars. How many trees in the cookie jar? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Go, Dad. Go, Dad.
Take time to be a dad today.
One foot.
Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. We have it off the air cameras. It's crazy, it's stupid up in here. My first guest this evening is a community coordinator in the Riverside, San Bernardino County. Put your hands together for Miss Faith Bolton. Thank you so much for coming out. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to see you. Good to see you.
Thanks
It's been
for
a long
having
time.
me.
Your husband been getting on my nerves.
Oh, yes?
Yeah, get my wife on your show.
Oh.
I said, good. And when we was getting our show together, we had a lot of artists singing. And when he told me about what you're doing, I thought that's something very important that we need to know. And that's about HIV.
Right. We certainly need to know
We need
about
to know
HIV.
about that.
But I have to say
And-
something first.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
I heard you, and I wanted you to know that my name is really Faith Holly Berry Bolton.
You know, there's some things you don't come behind. You have to leave that alone. And did you see she said, well, I'm gonna let you have that.
Okay,
I'm gonna let you
thank
have that.
you. Mm-hmm.
And it was so important to me because we got a lot of young people out here nowadays that's just doing grown people stuff.
That's true.
And let me ask you this, what is the percentage in the Riverside and San Bernardino County of HIV?
Well, I'm going to tell you a number. There's over 6,000 cases of HIV and AIDS in Riverside and San Bernardino counties. But the important thing to remember is that if I as an individual or you as an individual is one of the people who's infected, it really doesn't matter how many there are. What matters is what we do. The key is we don't want to share HIV, whether
Right.
that means I'm negative and you're negative and someone else is positive, or whether that means I'm positive and someone else is negative. The key is we don't want to share this disease in our community. Certainly there are ways that we can protect ourselves.
Right.
The best way not to get it is don't have sex and don't share needles. But in the world we live in, people have sex and they share needles.
Would you say that is the number more higher with the younger generation?
The highest number of individuals by age who have HIV are between the ages of 15 and 45. The age group for AIDS,
You say from 15 to what?
45.
Oh, 45 still doing it, huh?
Yeah, well,
I thought
85 still doing it.
I thought maybe after 40 you get somewhere and sit down. Huh?
Well, you know, people have sex well into their 90s,
Right,
so
right.
we can't really have a cutoff age. But when we look at the number of statistics for the people who have AIDS, that's a little older. Certainly there are young people who have AIDS, but we look at the age groups of 30 to 45, 50
Okay.
for AIDS. But again, it doesn't matter your age.
Right.
It matters our behaviors. That's how HIV gets transmitted from one person to another.
So, what would you say, what would be You think everybody should go in for an HIV test every 6 months, or?
Well, I'm gonna back you up right there, okay? The Centers for Disease Control says every person between the ages of 13 and 64 needs to get an HIV test. Now, after you get that first test,
right,
that first test is gonna tell you whether you have HIV or not.
Right.
Whether you need another test depends on what you do. If I find out...
After you do what you do the first time.
Well, the first test is
if I meet Halle Berry, and Halle Berry and I, and I go to the place, and they say negative, but Halle Berry and I do something different, then I go back and check.
Well, first, Halle Berry is going to require that you give her a copy of your results before she does anything with you.
Halle Berry, see?
Yes. And then after she has those results, I hope you'll ask her for hers. After you both know you're negative, and then you choose to do whatever you choose to do.
So it's like an ID card.
Well, it could be, except that we have to remember that the test only tells us what the person's status was 6 months ago and the time before that. So if she did something, you know, the week before she met you, that test is not going to tell you.
It's not going to tell me?
No. She'll need to take another test.
Boy, let me tell you.
Okay.
If they told me I got with Halle Berry and Halle Berry gave me something, oh my God. I don't know. I don't. I think I just, you know, I don't know. I'll cut it off. I'll cut it off.
I don't know about that, but okay.
I want to ask you this last question before we close this out. What would be your response of people who has HIV? How do we treat them? How do we?
Well, certainly we want to treat people who have HIV with love and care.
Right.
Just like any other chronic disease, people with HIV or AIDS need for us to be supportive of them. Certainly we want to encourage them to seek medical care and to take their medications. And certainly we want to work with them to help them not transmit the disease.
Real quick, so for the knowledge of the people who don't know, so shaking hands or embracing him or her, you cannot get it, right?
Right, you cannot get AIDS that way. You have to share body fluids.
Good, 'cause I think this person had AIDS and I hugged them, so, woo, thank you so much. I'm so glad that you came out to explain all this. Thank you so much.
All right.
Would you come back?
I would love to.
Thank you, Miss Facebook.
In nature, we see reflections of our children. The tree is the strong one, the ocean rambunctious and untamed. Like our children, each brings something wonderful and unique. They add color, they bring life. And to choose the sky over the water would be like choosing one child over the next. EarthShare, the world's leading environmental groups working together. To learn how you and your employer can help, visit our website.